I'm Dave, and I love to barbecue. But be warned, I'm not your typical backyard chef. Pulled pork, beef brisket, beer can chicken, grilled steaks, hell yeah. But my tastes are diverse, and I'll bet yours are too. Like smoked salmon over homemade fettuccine, or grilled scallops over southern Gouda cheese grits. Welcome to BarbecueMyWay.com. Welcome back to Barbecue My Way. Today we are going to do a very unique chicken dish on the grill. Sometimes you can just get tired of doing the same thing over and over. So what we're doing today is we're going to take a chicken fillet, a breast fillet, we're going to pound it down, make it real thin, and we're going to stuff it with a stuffing that's made up of artichokes, goat cheese, red pepper flakes, garlic, little olive oil, little fresh basil. It's going to be delicious. Not a real difficult dish, but kind of a classy way to prepare chicken, so let's start cooking here on Barbecue My Way. Right, over medium-high heat, we're going to put about 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, about 1.5 teaspoons of dried thyme. Always crush it up to bring out the flavors. A little bit of red pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon. Be real careful with this stuff, it's very hot. All right, we're starting to smell the thyme. And at this point, we've rinsed and drained and coarsely chopped about a can of artichokes, artichoke hearts, and we're going to add those now. We're going to saute these for 2 to 3 minutes. All right, we're going to add about 2.5 teaspoons of garlic. 1/4 teaspoon of crushed black pepper. And a little pinch of kosher salt. Under salt and salt when you're eating. If you over salt, you're screwed. All right, we've taken the mixture off the heat. We've let it cool just a little bit. Now we're adding roughly, let's say 3 to 4 tablespoons of chopped sun-dried tomatoes, and then also about 2.5 tablespoons of fresh basil. If you don't have an herb garden, just go to your local store and go to the produce section, and you should be able to buy that packaged fresh basil or any herb for that matter, and it really improves the taste considerably. And remember, this is not on the heat at this point. Just mixing it up, and we actually want it to cool before we use it to stuff the chicken breasts. And now we're going to add the goat cheese. All right, now we're going to crumble in the goat cheese. The goat cheese, if you've ever had goat cheese, it's a very mild cheese, very creamy. And you don't want this to be too hot, but you want to be hot enough or warm enough just so it melts it a little bit to kind of mix it in and be ready to stuff the chicken breasts. So probably did about 1/2 package, which is probably, I'm guessing, about 1/2 cup of goat cheese. This recipe calls for boneless chicken breast with skin on. You can never find that. So just real quickly, first of all, have a sharp, very sharp paring knife. And what you're going to do is kind of use your finger, and you'll be able to feel where the bones are. You always want to cut away from you. I'll probably do this poorly now that I'm doing it on camera. But you just feel through, and you'll be able to tell where the bone is, and you just keep pulling away. You'll have the ribs and kind of the gristle portion that you're trying to take off. And you'll just keep feeling. Of course, move your fingers after you're feeling. And just kind of keep going along the bone. And that is the bone off and a piece of chicken breast, skin on, boneless. All right, then what we do is just take these breasts, and we are going to pound them with a rolling pin. We don't pound them all that much, but we're getting them flat enough so that they'll be able to be rolled around the stuffing. So we'll follow this one till completion. That's pretty close. And that's what she looks like when she's done. And you don't want to spread it out because you're trying to flip it over. So you flip it over. The problem we have going is we've got really cheap toothpicks tonight, so they're a bit of a challenge to get through without breaking. If you break one, find the other end. You don't want to eat a toothpick. Come over here. It's not a very good view. So you just work it through. You're trying to skewer it on the other end to keep as much of the stuffing in as you can while you're grilling. And then when it's done, we're done skewering. Put a little olive oil on it, and then we use some of Fuzzy's poultry seasoning to finish it off with. That's what it looks like. All right, we're set up for indirect heat. We have coals bunched on one side entirely, so we'll start them and char them there, and then we'll put them on the other side with indirect heat and close the lid and finish. All right, we're going to start over the direct heat, the direct coals, and the key is to char this, and then we're going to move it to the indirect to finish it. Because you've got stuffing in the middle, you don't want to handle it or touch it or flip it that often, so you can keep the stuffing nice and tight in the chicken. Spatula, thin spatula, very important. We've talked about this before. Got a little bit of flaming going here, so we're going to start turning these. We just don't want anything to burn, because once you've burned it, you're screwed. Okay, the other thing that's really cool about a really thin metal spatula is that you can bend it. If you notice, I had some really tight spots to get into there, but this is flexible and it could bend, and it got me in there fine. So always have good utensils that will help you out immensely in terms of getting this stuff done without getting it burned. Just another tip from barbecuemyway.com. The coals have burned down a little bit too much, so I'm not going to move them over to indirect heat. I'm just going to put the lid on. We should kind of steam / pressure cook it, keep the flames down. I think we'll be ready in about 15-20 minutes. We might have to turn it just one more time. Wow, it's done perfectly. Mmm.